Hello everyone, welcome to a video here on Armageddon, where, well, quite simply, we're going to look at the costumes each character has. I'm going to rank them out of 10. This comes from that fucking idiot Maximilian dude's channel, who has terrible ratings, because if it's not the most basic fucking design of all time, it's over-designed according to him. So, I feel that I do one of this. It's something you can do for older games, but it's such a lazy video idea that I'm not really interested in doing that. And also, an annoying thing with Armageddon is it will just fucking go to the main menu if you if you fucking leave it too long. So yeah, apologies if that happens. But yeah, I chose Armageddon because there's the most characters. Some characters will not have ults, like a chameleon here. But there's still a decent selection. We'll just rank them all. I won't rank the characters. I've done a tier list series with my friend CDR on seeing the rank of the characters, and also that'd take too long. So let's just start with it. Scorpion is in his primary here. Well, more like his deception ult. Now, this is clearly supposed to be the equivalent of a classic rendition of Scorpion. You've got like Norvest kind of MK3 vibes there. He's got like the skull belt, which is pretty typical. His master sword design, but I think it's a bit meh. The colors are solid, obviously. It's just very simple. It's definitely a very effective classic design. But I don't know. I am not sure. About it. I prefer his ult, which is self-inspiring. They swapped some things around. I don't know specifically why, but this is one that they swapped around, and I think this is the inferior design. Because yeah, there's less going on, but it's still solid. It's a solid costume. It's like a 7. I don't go much higher than that because again, it's pretty plain. But yeah, it's solid. The ult, meanwhile, is really fucking cool. Like he has some really cool armor here. It's more of a gold rather than just this yellow color as well. A more distinct mask. You got like this weird like headpiece going around on his head. He got some swords on the back of him, which you can use in gameplay. That's an aesthetic thing. He's still got a skull on the belt, but like he's got these sashes as well. There's just so much more going on with this design. It's much more distinct, I feel. I really quite like it. I think this is probably Scorpion's best design. Another argument you make is like Deadly Alliance, Scorpion is default. But I think this is probably my favorite Scorpion design. It's really good. It's got like a 9. I feel it's got to be a 9. You could definitely push up to a 10. But I'm not too crazy about it. I'm not too crazy about Scorpion designs. Sub-Zero, meanwhile, this is a 10 out of 10. This is, again, his best design here. I feel by far this is a Deadly Alliance ult, which they brought from again to be his primary, which is a great choice in my opinion. I really do like it. Of course, got the cryo arms, and you've just got this more typical Sub-Zero design. But it's still standing out. You got the medallion, you got a lot of details on the actual costume stuff, and good mask. It's got all the stuff you need a Sub-Zero design. Like it doesn't necessarily stand out per se because this is more simplistic. Like the Scorpion costume here. But it does everything right. He's got the medallion, he's got the blue scar. He's got the cryo arms. You can't see that he's a weird old man in this one, which is a weird choice for the edit. There's a lore reason. It's because of the medallion, but I don't feel it should age him up. It's just too weird for me personally. But this is the deception armor, the ancestor armor. Cool lore and all. And I think this is really cool. Makes sense how they picked the right costumes for Sub-Zero to have in this game for sure. But I mean, I think the big shoulder pads are a bit much. I mean, the details in this one's like really cool. Like you got these giant pads on the legs, a cool belt with some cool like sashes. I like the fur, the back. Of course, the helmet's really cool. It's just some cool ass armor. I mean, the scar's gone. I don't like that. And it's something you often forget, actually, that he's missing his scar in Deception, and I couldn't tell you why. And also, his skin turns grey. Again, it's like a medallion thing, but I'm not particularly keen on how he looks. But the costume itself is, again, really great. I think a bit overrated, but I wanted to get the appeal. I'd give this probably a 9. I don't think it's perfect, but it is very good. Now, Reptile, this is like the only character who's in other 3DR games that gets a completely new design for this game. Well, I say that it's a Shaman Monk's design, but new character model. You know, they can't reuse the same models. But besides, for some reason, because it's based on his cutscene costume, right? And weirdly, in Shaman Monks, the cutscene costume in like the opening cinematic, which is all people really remember of that game. Those look completely different to the ones in the game. So yeah, this is a new model, but it is based on a Shaman Monk's design, which I think is meh. It's not terrible, okay? I think the biggest issue is the bandages around the head. It looks too much like Ermac over here, and for Ermac it works. For Reptile, it doesn't. You know, you could say, well, he's hiding his lizard look. I don't like it. It looks dumb. The actual costume itself, got the gold accents, and like another more traditional ninja tie. I think the gold accents, of course, make Reptile's 3D designs really good. But this costume, it is different. It's distinct enough. But it does pale in comparison to his ult, I feel. They kind of achieved the same thing, but I think the ult looks better. His ult is his daily lines primary. And also, you are considered the character model. See, this is a different character model. This is more in line with his MK4 lizard look, which has become the mainstay look for Reptile, being like in between full lizard and human. Which I feel should go all the way, but I'm fine with it being like this. I do find it weird he doesn't have a tail, but yeah. So if I were to rate this, I would be saying over the actual costume here. I don't like the bandages, but the actual costume's alright. I'm gonna have to give this like a 5. I think in the middle of the road. And actually, I prefer it being in this game over its Deadly Alliance ult, which I prefer Deadly Alliance ult, but because you get 2 versions of Lizard Reptile in this game. I think that's really cool. So I do respect it for that, but I think it should have just been his ult, because for lore reasons, there's no reason why he'd go back to this. And also it conflicts, because in the intro, he has his Daily Alliance primary. In Conquest, he's in this costume. It's weird. Now onto the ult. This is another 10, 100%. It's a fantastic design. It, by far, Reptile's best design. I cannot stand the take that full lizard Reptile is bad. Bro looks adorable, and he looks so much more distinct with a unique face. It does look kind of goofy when you look at it here, but just in-game and renders, it looks fantastic. He's got the long tail, which is really cool, and complements his lizard ball move. I love the medal on his belt. I mean, Reptile's like a belt buckle now, but it's not his medal, which we get like similar one because it's like from his family, I think. Which is cute. I like the green sash it's attached to as well, and the arm's just better, I feel. I guess like there's less green, but like he's got more saturated scales, you know. So I'm fine with it being mainly black for his base, and I just like the texture on it. It looks padded. And I like the wider shoulder pads. And the knee pads are kind of similar, but again, he's just bigger, and I really like that. It's probably my favorite ninja design, and it's not like a ninja, so that says it all there. I really like it. I think it's super underrated. So yeah, moving on to Rain. Now, this one I'm kind of mixed on, right? Because this is where we get the Armageddon lore of Rain being a prince, which isn't true, because Argus and Delia, they weren't rulers of Edenia, so he's not a prince. but oh, we gotta make a reference to the fingerprints, and it's really dumb. It's a terrible, not even a terrible idea, just terrible execution because it doesn't make sense. Him being like the third son of Argus is cool, but they do nothing with it, and the fact that he's royalty is just factually not correct. And the design tries to reflect these royalty with the gold accents. But again, gold accents are really cool. We talked about it with Reptile just now. And even Scorpion had some in his ult. So it looks really cool. The cape I feel is a bit much for him. But again, it looks cool. You know, it does look quite cool. So the costume itself is good. It just reminds me of a terrible character direction for Rain. But I suppose it does fit him. So I'm gonna go with a 7 on this one because I can't call it bad. It's not. It's a good design, for sure. Now the ult's more of a typical Rain design. I mean, it's quite similar. It got the same mask, which I'm fine with because it's a good mask. Well, the hair's different. That's not supposed to be like the top of the mask because he just has a front mask. Doesn't have one that goes across his whole head in this game, but I can't tell if that's just a different hairstyle. Should we check that in game? Let's have a look in game because I'm not actually sure. Because I can't say I use this costume often. Let's have a peep. And I think I'm on the Versus mod, so I hope Rain's an attack. I don't think they attack unless I do anything. Your colours are cool as well. Oh, he is moving. Hold on. I gotta up my brightness. Got a conclusion here. That's okay. No, that's just part of the mask. This is cool. This is a cool design. Oh, I like the back patterns as well. We haven't been able to note that. For Rain kills me. I prefer that one personally. Although again, I'm like, oh, I don't really like the more simple designs. My brightness down. But that one isn't really simple. It's more traditional, but it's not simple. It's like how I feel about the Sub-Zero design. It's more standard, it's more in line, but it's not simple. I mean, they have the same mask and stuff. Like these are quite similar. I don't think I'll bump it up much higher, but I think it's like a 7.5. No, let's say an 8. Let's say an 8 for it. Now, Ermac, 10 out of 10, another perfect ninja design. I love all the details, kind of some gold accents here. They all like to have good patterns as well, like the red and the black. Of course, the mummy look works perfectly in this game. I like the green gems in his boots as well. It's such a cool look. That's all I can really say on it. It's fantastic. Now, his ult is perfect for an ult. It's not something you'd want for like his default costume, but it is really cool to see as an ult, like see more of his body. You know, you can see like person. Also, another thing to note is the glowing green eyes. That's kind of a lost thing with Ermac. At least, like, he doesn't consistently have glowing green eyes anymore. But he does in these games, and they're really cool. I'm gonna just look at a similar in design. You can see a lot of the same stuff, like the belt, the knee pads. So I think this one's like a 9. In the comics, it's supposed to be an ult, right? If it was his primary, I'd probably be putting it lower. But yeah, it's not. And it's really cool being an ult, I feel. Now, coming I had one costume, and this is another 10. Just, it's so unique. It is so unique to have a character that changes colours. He doesn't even play 2 colours because he just changes colours. And also the translucent look for his actual skin. Really cool. A fantastic... first ever design for the chameleons, really. Chameleon, I know that I haven't because it's the PS2 version, although my creator fire is Chameleon, a variant of her. I tried. But she has the same gimmick in Wii Armageddon, not changing colours, so she's also a 10 for that. It's just really cool. It's really fucking dope. Chameleon as a character with no character, I really love him. He is such a cool character. I mean, just look at him change the colours and the sex from here. It's so dope, and just even the costume itself is just really cool. A cool mask, I like the headband. It's kind of funny. And although the glowing eyes, they change and stuff. But you kind of see the details on it when it changes colours. And when you do a special move pertaining to that character, they immediately change colour. It is such a fantastic design. Noob. Now, okay. His primary is alt, so we'll just show you here. His primary is alt, which they swapped the second ones around, which makes sense because the all black one's more in line with what you'd expect of Noob being a full Wraith. Because Deception goes to the idea that the Wraiths do just have like human skin. Which I don't even hate that as a look, but just because it's less unique and it's only in that one game, I obviously prefer the black. But in terms of costumes, I do prefer the more human-looking Noob in the 3D era. And the thing is, their costume, their clothes, they are the exact same if you look at it. But it's hard to tell because Noob in this, you can't see any of the fucking details on him. It is a massive shame. His primary here, you can't see the details on it. And again, it feels like UMK3 in that sense, where you can't really make out the details on Noob. Okay, I had to pause the recording to stop my dog from weeing in my room. Right, where was I? Okay, so they're the same costume, right? But you can't make out the details and the Wraith look, which again is reminiscent of that classic look for him. You don't really make out the details. It was just a silhouette. And I get the appeal of that. But, I mean, you look on like the render images where you can see the details. In his Armageddon Conquest, before you actually do the fight, his model in the cutscene is completely different. He has these glowing blue eyes, and you can make out the details more clearly because they're different shades of black. It's not just the same, like throughout the entire body. So, I think it's a massive shame because it would be really cool if they could fix the colours. I know there's a mod to do that, but I can't be able to figure out how to get it. So actually, yeah, I do prefer the human look because you can make out these details. Also, with some cool player 2, because I won't mention player 2 colours often, but like his turn, like give him red accents, which is cool. So unfortunately, as good as design is, I can't put the primary that high. Because you can't make out the details. If you could, it would absolutely be a fantastic design. But I think it's like a 7. I can't really go much higher than that. And I think his full, like his like more human looking one, that of course is better. I'm giving that an 8. But again, it's flawed because he has the human skin. So it's a bit of a toss up there. They're both good designs, but yeah, there's flaws with them both. Now, Smoke, 10 out of 10. Like the full Smoky Pie, really cool. Such a distinct mask as well. It's just really cool. I don't like the holes in the side legs, but I mean, it's to show off like his whole body's just literal smoke. It's really unique. It's really cool, and it ties to the whole nanotech stuff. I really like it. His ult, which again they swapped Smoke's costumes from primary and ult, because the section is the other way around. Where here we have this more traditional cyber look, and again the player 2 colors change with Smoke. It's weird because he has like purple now instead of the gold accents we got in Deception to tie into his classic look basically, which I respect. But yeah, I prefer the gold. Regardless, this costume again very solid. It's more of a standard cyber design, but it's really cool. It's what you want of the cyborgs. I feel like the regular cyborgs. It's the perfect cyborg designs. So, I mean, I did say it's perfect. It could be another 10, really. I don't think it's as good as this, and it's less standout. So, I guess 9.5. We're in the middle of the road, 9.5. It basically is perfect, but it's nothing crazy. Well, you know what? This costume isn't really anything crazy, really. So you know what? This is a 10 out of 10. I will give it a 10 out of 10. And I'll also give Cyrex here a 10 out of 10. This is my favourite cyborg design in general. It is fantastic. I love all the flashing lights and stuff. I love his mask. It's, again, a perfect cyborg design. I love all the details on it. The ult now, It was a bit weirder because, of course, it's like bits of Cybernex, bits of his human look, but it makes sense for Cyber's character. And again, like the Ermac ult, it works for an alt costume. So I'm giving this one a 9. It's a bit weird, and it kind of doesn't look right in places, but it works, I feel. And again, it's distinct enough, in terms of the actual costume. I like the sash on the belt as well. That's a nice touch. So I do think this is a really underrated costume, so I am going to give it a high rating of a 9 there. Now, Sector. I'm not too crazy about his designs in this one. They're cool, but I don't think they're as good as Smoke and Cyrex's. I think this is a 9 still, but I'm not going to go all the way to 10 for him. The caution tape on is a bit weird, and I just think the placement of something like the Silence is a bit off for me personally. Because it looks like a fucking letterbox, I guess, in the middle. I don't know. It's good. It's good. I'm not going to call it perfect like the other Cyber designs. It's probably still his best design though. We'll check the alt now. And the alt's quite weird. Like the mask is weird, but the actual body again is kind of cool, but still it is kind of strange. There's a lot of silver on him, just well, not even silver, just regular metal. I think this one's a 7 because it's still cool, but it's just a bit odd. Again, you could argue, it works for an alt, and I'd agree it works for an alt, but it's still weird. Although I just realised he has a hole in the center of his chest for the missiles. That's an 8. That's an 8 just for that. That's actually very cool attention to detail. I just picked up on that. So I don't know if we just go down. Yeah, let's just start and go to the left here. We'll go with Hataru now, moving away from the ninjas. And Hataru's a 10. 100% 10. The armor is fantastic. Arguably the coolest armor in the franchise, I'd say, with the whole beetle look. I love the flags. Yeah, it's just fantastic. Got some red on there, so it's not just black and gold, but black and gold is really cool anyway. The ult, meanwhile, I'm going to probably drop it to an 8 or a 9. I mean, it's so similar. I'm going to put to a 9, and the helmet's cool. Like this is equally as cool, I feel, but without the flags, without him being helmetless, this is more of a generic Satan God design. Which, I mean, Deception Conquest proved it, because that's how you fight the Guardsmen in Chaos Realm. They just have Hataru's ult. So it's good. I mean, you can notice slight differences in the armor, but it's mostly the same. Like you don't have the red sash there anymore. So again, it loses a lot of the distinct stuff that I was complimenting, but it's still a really cool suit of armor. So it's a 9. Now, Mavado, really underrated character with 2 10 out of 10 designs. This is a 10 out of 10. I mean, just the red on the inside coat. It's very vibrant, this red. They definitely changed it in Armageddon, which is strange. But it still looks cool. I like the little shoulder pad. The jacket's just really cool. On the back, he has a red dragon emblem as well. It's fantastic. Oh, and a thing with him, which it's not going to affect the rank of the costumes, but he has the purple effects on his hook sword, which is a bit of a shame. That was out of deception for Cabal, and I guess he just didn't want to change it red for Mavado or just get rid of it. Because it obviously doesn't fit Mavado. So that's a shame, but that's not going to affect my rank of his costumes. His ult is also brilliant. I love the armor, the suit of armor. I love his red bandana as well, good red accents. Some neat pattern on his legs, I don't really know what it is. And I guess he's got a sheath or a sword. It doesn't look like he has a sword there. But that's interesting. I don't imagine Mavado has multiple swords. I mean, he does in the X comics. He has these crescent blades. Not crescent. Or are they? I can't remember. They're not hook swords, though. I can't remember what they're called. Why am I selecting Arena? But yeah, 10 out of 10 designs. From just a pure cool motherfucker aesthetic, I think Navarro is my favorite character. Just in that regard. I think he's so cool. Let's hold on. Now, Baracho, this is a 10 out of 10. This is the definitive Baracho costume. It's great. It's you see his warriors medallion. I like all the fur on him. His good colours. Of course, he has more muted colours, but it fits the character. His old colours are like this whole outworld purple. It looks fantastic. This is the finished Boris design. His ult is a Day Alliance one, but there is a key difference. And this is what Deception did. They brought back the Day Alliance. So, but it's with the Deception model, so he has the full beard. He doesn't have the weird mustache, which, I mean, he had his debut appearance, but I think we all prefer him with the full bushy beard. So it looks fantastic again. I don't think this one's as good as a default, but I think it's very close to a 10 again. Let's go with a 9. Let's go with a 9. Again, some fantastic patterns on these costumes, and they all fit the character. Also, his I don't know what to call them, like his flasks. I guess they're pretty big in the 3D that he has in his back. They also are different in between the two costumes. So that's another little neat little thing. I don't have a preference between the two, but good variety. Now, Fusion, I think this is probably his most definitive look. I like the shoulder pads. I like the glowing yellow eyes. It's a neat little touch in Armageddon. There's nothing in it games. It has like its signature colours, I guess. Fusion, you can vary in the colours. I mean, MK11 showed it with all their alt colours and how most of them fit him. But like, I really like the colour palette on him with the gold accents, the red shirt, the blue pants. Similar to Kung Lao's colours now I think about it. I think this one's a solid. I don't know if it's a. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a 10. I don't think, but I don't know. I mean, he has like the weird like shoelace like knee pads, which they definitely aren't knee pads. I don't know what that thing is on his feet. What are those? I like the hair as well, the long ponytail. It's 9.5 because I do really like it. The ult, it's good for an ult, but I think it's a bit weird. I don't like him with the shorter hair, but I'm for different costumes having different hairstyles. Against some cool armor. I think the shirt's a bit more generic because it's just a black shirt. And then, I mean, the pants are the same. Different boots. He has better boots here, I feel. And he has a cape, which, Fujimura cape is cool. This one's a bit too big for him, I feel. Like it looks massive how it goes over his shoulders there. So I don't think it really fits him, even if I like Fujin with a cape. I just don't think this one really suits him. So I'm going to give this one like a 7. They're both good designs. So yeah, I don't want to be too harsh on him. Reiko, man, this is good. This is good. Now, I'm not too crazy about the whole aesthetic of shirtless, but I have like a top armor. I think Reiko looks best on compared to like Kintaro and Shao Kahn. Although saying that, it kind of works better for those two because they're big buff guys, but Reiko's just the coolest. Got more straps, he's just got more pads here. And it makes sense, he's mini Shao Kahn. Not in the sense of, Shao Kahn clone, lame character. It fits the character. And Armageddon was really going in that direction of being Khan's general. And I like that. I like him being the Shao Kahn loyalist. Because everyone is circumstantially with Khan. He doesn't really have many loyalists. The only one is, I mean, and this is very recent, is Collector. And we aren't seeing Collector again, so it's really just Reiko. And it's very cool. I like the gloves. I like the armor. I like the colors. I like the little strip of hair. It's like dyed hair. And I mean, it's to go for like how he was like graying in MK4. And I think they changed that because Reiko's MK4 Lord's weird because he's like really old. He was around for like the first Shinnok and Raiden battle. So like millions of years ago. And it's very weird, and Armageddon definitely makes his character more clear here. Of course, his face paint's good. I think it's a 9. It's a 9. Now, his ult, I mean, it's more a generic ninja costume. Again, cool hair. Okay. It's more like his MK4 costume. I like the spike gloves being back. I'm going to just want like an 8.5. I prefer the Armageddon primary, but this one's also really good, so I don't want to knock it too far back. Now Darius, oh man, this is really cool. I don't know where to put this one. I think this could be another 10. I need to think about it though. I mean, the sunglasses are iconic, you know. They just are like the orange tinted sunglasses. They're better than any pair of sunglasses Johnny Cage has had. And like the orange accents on this, like I mean, it looks like a ninja costume. I don't know why Darius is considered a lame character. Like, I know MK fans don't really pay attention to fucking lore. Like the ones who go 3D characters bad. They don't pay attention to any of their characters. They just make shit up. But like from a design perspective, this should be like everything people want. This looks like a ninja design, and then you've got the coolest pair of sunglasses I've ever fucking seen in my life. Yeah, this is a 10. Fuck it. I think the arm things are a bit weird, but they work. Like, because it's like a weird, like, it like goes from like the shoulders and it goes down the arm. That's a bit weird. But I'm not going to knock it for it. It looks really cool. And then you got a belt buckle. I like those touches. They still look distinct, but when you go through these costumes, you realize they do a lot of really good things with each character. You know, you get the belt buckle, you get a unique belt buckle, you get these accent colors. Like, the designers knew their shit in this game. It's really good. His ult's weird. His ult's weird though. I don't think it's bad, and I've come to appreciate it more. I mean, it's homage to like martial arts movies because Darius like inspired by a lot of movies. I don't know any specific ones. I think it's just a combination of them, so they went with something like this, where he's got a black belt, shirtless. You know, I like his pants. They're very cool. I think he's got the same goals. I mean, he's got like the good like orange rings. Those are cool where he doesn't, but he has darker ones here. And he has different glasses, and he has hair in this one. So I like diversifying it like that. So again, I think it works as an alt, and you can just think of this as like his training costume, I guess, when he's training. I feel it fits him. So I'll give this one probably a 7. Because 7's like the lowest score I've been giving outside that one reptile costume, I think. And I was giving like costumes like this 7, so I don't go higher than that. I don't feel. But yeah, Darius is really cool. Now Jarek, oh my god, Jarek. This armor is really cool. I like the patterns and like the dragon, like it's like a dragon, I think, which he has the dragon flying style, so it works. I like his look as well here. The goatee. It's really cool. It's a huge glow up in his design. And I think it's like MA4 costume is cool. Because it's like a neat black dragon jacket. I think that's cool. And this is in line with like his more standard colours. So I think this is another character I'm going to give 2 10s. I think Jarek is really cool in this game. Like, it is insane to me how Jarek is still considered this lame Kano clone after Armageddon pulled all the stops to make you say, no, he's his own fucking guy. Like, in the past, he literally has the Kano ball and they took it out his moveset just because they wanted to give him all unique stuff. He has the lasso shit, you know, like really cool stuff, the Rhino Stomp. He has a unique axe. It plays the same as Ermac's axe, but it's a unique design, the kick axe. This ult is fucking brilliant as well. I don't know why the sash is glitched out like that, but it looks really cool. There's so much detail. Yeah, it looks really puffy, the shirt. I'm taking it to in game. I don't feel that does it justice enough. The preview there, because I think this is slapped on a lot, and I want to highlight how brilliant this alt costume is. It is such a. The alt colors are fantastic as well. Look at that. Just it's brilliant. Yeah, like you can see like sashes and the cloth here. Some spikes in it. It's more like an Outworld design, maybe like a Netherrealm design, but it's not like, you know, it's not a traditional Earthrealm design. And you could say, well, that doesn't fit his character. It does. He has his bio in this game about how like he Jack basically dropped him off the Marine, which is dumb because he didn't. The context for that in MK4 was, well, he had killed Sonya, so of course Jack's going to be pissed and yeet him off, but he just yeeted him off after helping him defeat Shinnok. So. Well, yeah, helped against Shinnok's forces. That's what he gets. So that makes Jarek come across as an asshole there, so I don't like that. And like Jarek basically goes insane, he's like passing fatalities. I guess because they had him copy people's fatalities in MK4. I don't like it, but Jarek has a lot of character and the designs fit. Because I mean, Quan Chi like recruits him. You could make him like a Brotherhood member at this time. Like his character like fully changes by Armageddon, and it's not for me personally, but it's really cool. 100%. I mean, and you could absolutely use his costume, which is a bit of Black Triangle, like when they go to Outworld and whatever. Like I think he should have been wearing this instead of his primary in the X comics, because they're in Outworld for a bit. Like it's just really cool. So yeah, I that's a 10 out of 10 costume. Genuinely one of the best costumes in the franchise. I think that's a top 10 for me at least. Like it is way too cool. Like Jarek's costumes are so slept on. I cannot state that enough. Now Daru, another overhated character for his designs. Which this I want to give it another 10. I want to give it another 10. And the reason is the simple colours, okay, they fit the character. He's a wanted man in fucking Sado, the realm of order. Like he's gotta be careful. He's going to be in his muted colours. He's not going to try and stand out in his look. But even then the details are so cool. He's got some cool armour here and like the undershirt, the patterns on it. And like yeah, it's like browns, but then you get like these greens, these oranges. It's such a good blend. It highlights what they fucked up with Noob's costume, where you have these different shades, and it makes the costume. Now I know it's like forehead guy, but I mean look at his face. It is so distinct. You can see scars on the literal character model, and you have the unique forehead band, which I don't think we learned the significance of that. But it makes him distinct, and I really like that. It's a 10. It's a 10, 100%. The art is also really cool. And I prefer it. Also his old colours for this primary are really cool. They're like they don't fit him as well, but they're like this like black and white thing with like gold accents, I think. I'm not gonna bother showing you, I won't waste any more time. But yeah, these really cool. Actually, no, these are the silver. His old colours for this one are like silver, but it's some more cool armor. I quite like it. It's a cool set of armor. I like the red as well. So this one's like a I'd say like probably a 9. I really like it. You're going to get high scores from me on these because I think the 3D area designs are fantastic. I don't think we're going to get as consistently good once we get to the bottom side with all the women costumes, because those are a mixed bag. But yeah, Cabal here, oh man, this is the best design, 100%. They got to do his original MK3 concept art with the trench coat, with the backpack, and they managed to bring it over into 3D. It was a fantastic return for Inception. I prefer him as a hero, but had he turned him into Star New Black Triangle, it worked for this story. They did it well. Now, unfortunately, now that they keep flip-flopping his character, it's quite a shame, but he's really cool here. I think this is some maskers. I mean, it's a bit gooey, but it looks good in these graphics, so I'm fine with it. I think this is another 10. The art I'm less keen on now. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of the lowest scores. I mean, it's like, I don't know why it's got like this psycho vest on. It's weird. The colours are more dull. It's a different mask. It reminds me of like his MK9 mask, which I think is a decent mask. Him having a different mask for his ult makes sense. Get that variety. But yeah, he doesn't have the coat. It's weird. It's not bad, but I don't want to give it a 7. Really, I think it's a 6. I think it's a 6. I don't hate it, but I'm not keen on it. Striker, oh man, okay. So they made him cool in this game, right? Compared to the police officer in MK3 who was clearly just wearing casual clothes. I mean, it's like how MK2 Baraka was clearly wearing like trainers. But I mean, like the head, it doesn't look like Striker. I mean, he had a cap on, so you can't see how he looks like before. this, but I mean, it looks so generic. I don't like these. I mean, they're goggles, I guess, not sunglasses, but they look kind of goofy in that sense. I think his back is like his taser, I think. Wait, he's got two. I kind of process this now. What the hell's on his back? Those his bands. Oh, also he has like green as his accent colors, which for his player 2 thing, which is kind of neat. Obviously, he still has the blue here, Frankie Free, but it's less colorful because it's mainly just black. It's just this like jumpsuit here, and I think it looks solid, but I don't know. Yeah, because these are his nightsticks. So what are these? He's just like knives. Because he has his taser on like his back, this really cool taser. And it looks really cool. It's like this big fucking taser. So I don't know what the hell he has on his back either. It's a very redesign. Like, you can tell they went all out with the redesign. And I respect it because, yeah, MK3 Striker is fucking lame. I'm not going to dispute that. I know I've been having some hot takes about the 3D era characters here, but MK3 Striker is a guy in casual clothes. Like, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Now, I think the console art, they had a really cool, like, redesign of that look, rather than just a redesign outright. They had a redesign specifically based on the MK3 one. You can find it in not a file, so the crib to this one. You can find a render of it with the one where you've got like everyone like lined up for like a group photo for Armageddon, and I guess they just didn't use it, which is a shame. I do think it beats this, and like, it's a weird costume. I respect it. I do. And I do think Armageddon did definitely make him look cooler. But it's still weird. It's still very weird in his costume. And I think it's like I don't want to go middle of the road with it. Because I do want to get some extra credit. I'll give it 5.5. The ult I actually really fucking like. But again, we go into the point where he just looks generic again. Because you've just got him in this mask. And he's like... He looks like the like just a random SWAT guy. Like, if they took the mask of this one, I mean, it probably would have fit like the jumpsuit one better. They probably should have swapped the heads here. I don't know. Because I like having more blue here. It really does help. It just looks more detailed. So this one gets like an 8 for me. And that might be generous here then. So like, I don't want to knock Striker, you know, because I think we're past the idea that, oh, Striker's lame because he's just a cop, right? Like I think we're past that. But yeah, it is a weird look. This primary is, at least. The ult is fine for an ult, I feel. But yeah, I think so, I think I mean what I've said here. Now, Nightwolf. This is my favorite design for him. I actually think his classic design is probably his best and whatever recreations of it are, but I appreciate trying to be different with the vest. Some unique colours here. I personally don't think they work particularly well. Although the vest, of course, it's got a lot of blue, so the black accents work, and then the maroon, I guess, vest matches the face paint. But I'm not too keen on it. Admittedly, it's a solid design. It fits him. I think it's like a 7. It's solid. It's solid, but I'm not crazy about it. I can't lie. Now, the ult I also think is kind of cool, but it's really fucking weird again. I mean, it's kind of Prime Striker in that sense. He has like a cool, like, weird red pattern thing. I thought, oh, maybe that's why he wore when he went to the Netherrealm. But that's not the case in his ending, so... Yeah, and he has the mohawk, and he has some different face paint, which I don't think looks as good at all. You could be stereotypical, maybe. I don't know. And there's just a bit too much brown on this one. I don't think there's no one I'm going to jump in game for it, because I don't think it looks too bad game. You can make out a decent amount of details. Get through the loading thing here. But yeah, I mean, he has like a knife. It's fuck it. Oh. It's like, it's kind of cool, but it is weird. It's definitely weird. I think it's a 6 probably. I don't think I can give it much higher than that. Yeah, okay. Mocap. Okay. I don't know how I rank this because it is perfect, but it is just a motion capture suit. It has red instead of blue for his alt colors, which are new to Armageddon, by the way. He doesn't have an alt costume. But they're new to Armageddon because he didn't have player 2 colors, because you couldn't do a mirror match, to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but in Daylight you couldn't mirror match secret characters. Maybe in Versus you can, actually. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, it's a motion capture suit, and he's mocap. And his face was like Carlos Pacino. It's it's a 10. It's a 10, I guess. Like genuinely, if I were to associate with a ranking, I think it's 10 because it is literally perfect. There's nothing to change. If he were to have an alt, I'd probably like do some like crazy ass superhero costume where it's still like this mocap man theme. But it's like maybe some like crazy armor. You can get like fucking ridiculous with it, but then I think you're being try hard if you do that. Like I think this works, and there's a place for mocap, absolutely. You can't take a fucking joke if you're like, oh, mocap's so lame. Like, wow, really? Yeah, you found the motion capture man. And the thing is, dude has some really cool telekinesis powers in this game, like some really cool effects. Like and the fact that mocap, like, he knows like canonically at least 7 martial arts styles when you consider stuff, because he knows like he's had 3 different ones in gameplay. I also would have had to learn Shang Tsung's fighting styles because he was doing motion capture for in one of Johnny's movies, I think. Yes, right. So he knows many fighting styles. So actually, dude's kind of a credible force. But I digress. I do think it's a good design, right? You know, jokes like it makes sense. So yeah. Now Cage here, Johnny Cage, bit weird, honestly. I used to like this, but I've kind of soured on it, as I have on Johnny's entire character. Although I said I've never really been a big Johnny fan. Johnny, in terms of aesthetics, he's probably the lamest character. And I say that not necessarily as a knock, because it makes sense for the character. He's a movie Hollywood star jackass. It makes sense that he's lame as fuck. Right? And like, it feels like he's trying to too hard to be cool. He has like a back tattoo that's like kind of generic in this. Of course, the midway games, he doesn't have like the cage tattoo his torso, which I can take it or leave it. I don't care if you have it or not. Although, to admittedly, has become kind of an iconic thing with him. But actually, I'm not going to knock this game because he just didn't have it yet. So, yeah, I think the weird fucking door knocker on his cock is weird. Like, what's going on there? The blue sash are cool. The gold's a bit much, I feel. And, like, yeah, the rest of it's just, like, generic fitness costume. The sunglasses or whatever. Blonde Johnny's kind of weird as well. I must say, I don't care what his hair colour is, but it's weird. And also, especially when Stryker's blonde here. And people always mistake Stryker for Johnny here. And I get why, and even mocap people mistake him for, because he had the blue and the black with blue accent jumpsuits. That's a funny thing. I'm not too keen on this. I don't think it's like terrible. I guess I'm gonna go 5 on this one. Now the suit, it's a suit. Like mocap, I was saying, I said technically a 10, but that's the thing. He's mocap. He's supposed to just be in like casual. But it's not casual wear, but you know, like regular clothes that a motion capture person would wear. So when I say that in terms of regular clothes for mocap, I know it works. That's because of the character. Now Johnny in regular clothes, it fits the character, but it's boring. He's just in a generic tuxedo here, and he's had a bunch of costumes where he's just in a suit, and this is the most boring James Bond knockoff one. It's just black and white tux. This has got to be the worst costume so far, I feel. I wouldn't even say the worst in terms of how it looks. Just it's so boring. It's a 2. It's not a 1 because it looks good. It's a suit. He looks nice in it, right? But I don't care about it. He's just in a suit. It's a 2. I might be being harsh there, but yeah, I don't like it. Kano. Okay. So Kano's 2 halves here. I think his primary is really weird. And you know what he was from costumes? I feel like he should have put his alt in the front because it's like a classic remake. And also his old player 2 colours are like his MK3 colours. I'll get into that, and I actually think that's the best design in the franchise. Although there's not much competition. So I feel like that should be the first one, because player 2 colours, if you have an old, you're not going to encounter that often. But he's so creepy. It's just a creepy costume for him. Like, you just see, like, his fucking gross hairy chest, his hairy arms. His jacket's quite cool. I like his jacket. That's the thing that gives him some points here. His pants are just brown, and he has some weird just some weird generic knee pads, I guess. And he has some knives and things, which aren't even his butterfly knives, so I can't even say that's a cool touch, because it's not like Kira, who has knives strapped to her legs as well, because she pulls them out. And they're the tracking teeth, they're actually unique, distinct knives. He doesn't. I think his eyes cool in this game, it glows a lot. You just saw like the image of him next to with that menu screen, and you can like see it like implanted in his flesh. It's a cool mini screen. Of course, it's not that detailed in the actual game model though. But it's a good cybernetic eye. It's solid. It's standard, but it works. And the gloves look fine because they have a bit of red on them too. I feel like if the pants were like black, I guess, then they'd be better than just generic brown. Because here you've got like the red and the black, and that would actually continue on from the whole MK3 look where he's got black and red. So I feel like they should have done that actually. I might like that more if they didn't have him so hairy. And speaking of hair, why has he got a lock of sign his hair as like a necklace? Again, really fun creepy. We're at the start of Kano being a creep. It's not too prominent to the NRS games, but it's fucking weird, ain't it? The context is like Sino killed him in like MK3 Invasion. I managed to take some hair in that fight. Like, ooh, gross. It's just gross. It's gotta. I don't know. I don't know if it's a 1, because again, I think the jacket's nice. I think the jacket seems probably a complete 1, but I'm not going higher than 2. That's a 2. That's such a 2. Now I can be positive on it. I'm actually going to show you the Senkos. Look at that. Look at that. Very cool. Get the MK1 colours, the primary and the black and red, which I do prefer personally. Pretty old colours. I think it's his best design. Because Kano hasn't really gotten better than his classic costume, and this is just a good recreation of it. I mean, you can still see the hairy chest, and he's got the hairy arms, but it's not being gross this time. You got this bandolier here as well, which is cool. And the thing here is he had like this glowing red thing in the Alliance, and they took it out of like the belt thing because I don't know why. You can see some physics on it when you move as well. But it's because, it's basically copying Suhao's thing. You just have that laser thing on the chest, which, NKX didn't care about getting rid of that. So, yeah, I really do think this specifically is his best design. It's really good. It's the best, recreation of his classic look, and there's been many. There's a lot of detail to the straps. And he's still got the knives strapped to him. They're kind of neat. I'm not too keen on the brown here, which, of course, that's sold with his alt colours. Actually, no, it's still brown, but it's got a lot of pouches. It fits. He's going to be resourceful. So I think that's like a 7.5. I don't want to go all the way up to 8, but I will give my compliments. I think it's a good design for sure. 7.5. Now Jax, again, this might be my favourite design. It's just always MKX one. I love all the fucking, there's bandolier of all the ammo. That's really cool. The red beret, which is iconic, and they just took it out of MKX's DC. That would have become an iconic part of his, look. And it just went. Also, I just like him in sunglasses. He looks badass. The huge metal arms as well. Really cool. And the green, I guess, camo. I guess that's what's trying to be pads. And the knee pads make sense on him. I think this is a fantastic design. I think it's a 10. Where's 10? I can't be as positive on. This feels stereotypical. In basically all ways. Fucking puffer jacket. I don't even know why it's yellow now. I don't know why that's the main colour. The backwards cap. He doesn't. the thing I can give it points for is the fact that he gets his human arms. It makes sense to have a costume where he has metal arms and one where he doesn't. Keep in mind, this is like the NRS games is what started him actually losing his arms, which I don't care how he gets the metal arms. I don't really care about the context. Just pick one and stick to it, which they haven't. So yeah, basically it makes sense why he has human arms. Although yeah, stuff like the piston punch, which still makes like piston sounds. So that's kind of goofy. I think it's definitely one of the weaker ones. It makes sense as an alt to have something like that, like more of like an off the clock costume, I guess, where he's in casual wear. He ain't got the metal arms on. I guess that's what it's going for, but I don't like it. I mean, the big chain with the dragon, that's way too. That's really silly. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool, but that's really silly. I think this. Another 2, probably. Maybe a 3, but 2.5. I don't think I could go higher than that. Now Kai, another character, does some redesigns here. I like the armor here. It feels a bit generic compared to like Jarek's, I guess. I like the paint on his arms. I quite like the hair actually. I like the. He has a beard now. I mean, the beard suits him. And I guess it shows like he matured a bit because now of course he's a student character, so I kind of like that progression for him. But yeah, I'm not too crazy about it. I think it's solid. I think it's a 7. I don't have much to say. It's a cool set of armor, you know. Now this is more like his MK4 costume. Pretty much exactly faithful, I must say. He's got the beard still here. I think it's a solid costume. I for the armor, but I'm still going to give this a 7. Actually, no, his primary is a 7.5. This is a 7. Let's go with that. Actually, yeah, it's definitely 7.5 because I get Kano 7.5. Now Kenshi, I know the weird thing is, I think it's Daily Alliance primary is going to become his primary again, and then they just change their mind again. It's fucking confusing, but this is a Deception primary, and lack of red, I must say. I mean, he's got like a jacket over basically his Daily Alliance costume. It feels. I like the Pounder jacket. It's a cool costume, for sure. Of course, Kenshi's very cool. So I don't know much to say about this one. It's just a cool looking design with some neat details, but I would like a bit more red on this. So I'll give it another 7.5. And I think the old Day Launch Bar is just slightly better. I mean, it's only more iconic. I mean, he basically any other game he's in, he has a design that's based on this. I think the camera, because it's like more pale in here because it comes from his Day Alliance model, so it is kind of outdated in that sense. But I like the more vibrant red. I like the whole armor look. I like the big sash he has. I think it definitely bumps him up to an 8 there. So yeah, he's solid. Fine. Shijinko, 10 out of 10. Especially his alt colors. Again, you have these simple colors, but he's a humble motherfucker. He's a humble guy. I think the significance of like the Deception comics, we saw him age up to this cool, badass, wise mentor in these like robes. I really like the cloth. It's very droopy. I really do like it. I think it's a 10. I could be biased saying that, but I think Shijinko's really fucking cool. I really do. His alt's weird. His alt's a weird one. Again, it should probably be another Conquest line where he's younger. I got it should be that. They just randomly made him bold. I don't know if that's because Max Crawford was bold. I think I'm reading into that too much. Max Crawford was the guy who voiced him. Worked at Midway. But the actual costume, I mean, I don't know why he has like this bib on. It kind of like a fucking sushi master, I guess. He's got a black belt. It's cool. And I like the like cloth with like the checkered pattern here. I actually quite like it. It is quite weird. What did I give the Nightwolf one? What did I give it? Like a 6.5? I could. Let's say that. Let's say that for this costume. I think that is suitable. Now, moving on to Suhao. Man, I don't know why I'm going to rank this, but I'm going to straight away say this is an overhated look. I think the problem is the character model, which even though I don't think it's too terrible, it's like stereotypically yellow, and the face does look a bit goofy. Updated graphics, or just like comic art style when you saw the X comics, can make it look really cool. I like the dark green and you got the red accents. Again, red accents because it's Red Dragon, it makes sense. The cybernetic heart being this huge fucking thing, really cool. And also, it fills in for the fact he's shirtless. That's the thing. Exposed skin, it can lead to looking generic, but he's a buff motherfucker. It makes sense. And his cat's just like an iconic like detail for him. It makes something come together. This probably is a 10. I do think it's very solid. I know a lot of people like putting a jacket on him, like a long coat, and I think that definitely improve it, but it doesn't need it. And I'm not judging. I'm judging costume. I'm not judging character model unless the character model changes for the costume. This is just his model, right? This buff guy is Mongolian buff guy. Again, yellowish skin, quite stereotypical. But I'm not going to knock my rank design. I'm giving it a 10. The ult feels more boring though. It's very similar. The same cybernetic heart makes sense. I like his gloves. I like the spiky on. I mean, it's a bit much. I feel. There you go. And it's weird because it goes over like his patterns on here. And he's got some. I mean, the same knee pad. I think the pants, of course. They have the pattern, but it's replaced by this. It's covered up by those thigh pads. He has the same belt pretty much. I think it's a bit more. I think the belt's like thicker, but it's got the same buckle, and the pants. The colour's just not as good. I like the gloves, and he's missing the hat. So this really is a downgrade. It really is, and it doesn't feel like a new design. It just feels like an old version that's not as unique, not as interesting. Because besides like the spikes and everything and the gloves, it's the same design, just missing a hat and different colours, which still gives it a high rating. I'm getting it. It's like I assume it's like an 8, because he's a cool motherfucker for the cybernetic heart and shit. But yeah, it's definitely a big downgrade. I might go 7.5, but I'll be generous. It's Sue Howell. Come on, it's an 8. Cobra, I think Cobra's again overhated because Kim Master's clone. I don't care about that, and I think people are dumb and wrong because he has a completely different story to Ken. And no martial artists who are blonde are the fucking same. He's based on Johnny Lawrence from Karate Kid. You dumb fucking idiots. So yeah, I think he's cool. There's a lot of deals. I like the gloves on him. I like the yellow. I like the white and black is cool. Although I do prefer his alt colours that are just all black because Black Dragon. I think that's a bit more distinct. I also like the details on it, man. I think this is. I get the argument that it's a generic karate. I get that, like not even like the whole looks like King Masters thing, but just generally it is more of a standard karate costume. So I'm not going to give it a 10, but I will give it a 9. And it's very cool. But something better is his more casual wear with the jacket, and he's got boots on, trainers on. He's still got the gloves. His pants are similar. This one is much better. I like him with a hood up as well. Very cool. This is a 10 out of 10. It's fucking fantastic. It retains the details for the primary, but he's in different clothing pieces. This is really cool. Now we're going with Dagon. Dagon does not have an ult, but it's so good. It's a 10 out of 10. And the armor, the shoulder and stuff. The only weird thing is that it's a weird set of armor because his chest is exposed. And I like his line in comic book, like, I see your armor, I wear mine always. That's all cool, but he's going to take it away with the fact that the armor is like blatantly impractical. I suppose you'd probably fill in the chest bit. Like where you got the straps, like fill in like under that, then I think it'd be better. But besides that, And I don't think that knocks it enough to not be a 10 out of 10, because it's still a 10 out of 10. There are lots of impractical armor designs. It's just, you just feel it more because it's brought up in story. But yes, so, and the character model is fantastic. All the scars on his arms and his head. You can tell, like it fits the character because he's waking up premature. He's gone through all these battles, been around for ages, and he's got his beard graying. Something I really hate about the X comments, they keep the design, but they get rid of his graying beard, and I think his scars too. I can't remember. And it's like, you don't understand Dagon. That is integral to his lore. It's to show how much older he's become than Taven, who is his older brother, because he was awakened prematurely, so he's aged more. It's really cool. There's so much detail. The colors are fantastic. He's got the Red Dragon logo on his belt. He's a fantastic design. It's 110 out of 10. Dark Raiden, he's got his grippers out. He's like wearing sandals. He's got his grippers out. That's my only complaint, because other than that, this is phenomenal armor. I like the torn cape. Of course, the dark color is fantastic. The glowing red eyes. It's brilliant. It is by far the best Dark Raiden design. It is perfect. I don't know what else to say. It's 10 out of 10. It considers a samurai or anything, and I feel like he should have had his Daily Alliance primary back. And clearly he was going to get it, because the promotional material way has it. I mean, Deception is like promotional material too. Like is an iconic look, and they just wouldn't bring it in. I get Deception, he's just Dark Raiden, to like hide the fact that, yeah, it's Dark Raiden now, but Armageddon, they probably should have brought that back. Because I don't know many characters. Especially when his ult, he has like these blue beads, right? His ult colors have like this darker blue color instead of the red. They got his primary and ult colors completely wrong, and they never fixed it. Because he has red beads for his player 2 colors, which make it look so much better. And they didn't fucking fix it. So that annoys me. I have a siren costume. It looks cool. Again, it's something that only works if it's an alt costume, you know. But I don't think it works as well in Dark Rain, especially when you got the blue beads here. Like if it was the Day Alliance one, I'd be giving it a higher rating than what I'm about to give it. But I am going to give it it's 6.5 again. I feel, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's good. Comparing to also I've given a 7, I think it does go below that for sure, which is a shame. Now, Shinnok, man, okay, so I've just selected them both. Oh, fuck. My bad. I don't select them both because they're both very, like, distinct, but I mean, the compliments I can give them, but like give both costumes applied to them both. You know, the colors. He has a very distinct color scheme, and it's shown in both of these. It's just really fantastic design for Shinnok. I love all the details in both of these as well. It's so perfect. Shinnok's got such a unique design, and this is definitely his best. I do prefer the ult, which is this one here, and now he's gonna fight me because, like, the pacifist AI. But man, it is. They're both so good. I'm going to give them. Actually, I don't know. The ult's 100% 10 out of 10, and interesting because he has his image here, his ult for the Actually, no, it's not. No, it's not. I lied. Because he's got like the like yellow cloak thing here. That's sticking out. So I thought it was his robe. His robes in his ult. I wanted to get a 10 out of 10. Like look at that. That is so cool, and I love the patterns on it. The primary is also great. They're both 10 out of 10. I think the like long cloak makes the ult better, but they're both 10 out of 10 for sure. Now Quan Chi, weirdly, he's wearing the amulet, which Shinnok presumably has back by now. They don't explain why Quan Chi is serving Shinnok again. It's a massive story problem, but I digress. It's weird because the amulet is clearly not Shinnok's amulet, and promotional material he has Shinnok's amulet. Like, this in lore is not supposed to be a different amulet that he has. They just fucked up, I guess. And this design's going to come oversaturated because it's basically been used in like the NRS games. It hasn't really gotten a new design since. But I think it looks cool. Again, it's the impractical armor thing, but I like him being shows because it shows up like the runes on his body, which are into his day and night lore, which made him more powerful. I like the sash on him. So I think this is very solid. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. His MK4 costume. For his best, I mean, it's got the amulet in the middle, which is kind of cool. I like the spikes. You know, it's like it's his full clothes, basically. And I like that. It's a nice glow up based on his MK4 costume. So I think this one gets a 9. They're both very good. Now, this is a 10 out of 10. This is fantastic. By far, Shang Tsung's best design. He looks so good in this. With the gold, this regal look. Like the very well detailed golden chest plate and the sashes, the red and the gold. The boots, everything is perfect. The beard and the hair, it is the best Shang Tsung design. It is the one that perfectly reflects Shang Tsung's look. It is so cool. It's 10 out of 10. Everything is perfect with it. Now the old, not as good as it was based on like the prequel comics. So I really respect it. With a little hat. And I guess it's cool. He got the gold and the red. It's very solid. I mean, I guess you can say it's a bit weird, a hat. But again, it's old costume. It works for that. So I think this is an 8 out of 10. I do like it. Now, Kung Lao's default here, I mean, it's got to be another 10 out of 10. The colours, I mean, it's Kung Lao's best design. It's really cool. It's perfect for Kung Lao. I mean, what I said for the Sub-Zero primary costume applies to this. It really does just perfectly depict Kung Lao. It has all that you want of him. A really cool hat, the gold, the blue, and the red sashes there. It's so good. The ult I really like, I think it's very underrated. It's cool to see him without the hat, using it on his back as just a regular weapon. I like it. But they fucked it up. They fucked up the colours. So it used to be like all that blue applied to legs, like the rest of the cloth. But it's just got brown now in Armageddon here. I don't know why. I could not tell you why, but it weighs it down. I would not be getting like okay, if this was normal, this would be, I'd probably get an 8 still. This knocks it down to like a 7. It's still not bad. But it's quite a shame. I like it being like this more modest costume, I guess. It's unique for having the hat off. He still has the hat because on his back, so it's cool. Zombie Liu Kang. Okay, this is another one where it's 2 costumes that are the exact same. And wow, it looks like they actually connected Liu Kang's body to his legs. In Deception, his ult was actually not connected, and it's weird because he has a new design. You even see it in the Ghost Liu Kang NPC, which I don't think looks that good, but they just changed. They, for some reason, changed it to just be the same as Zombie Liu Kang. Which I guess fair enough. I mean, it's a typical Liu Kang design. It is fine. It's not a 10 out of 10 costume, but it works for him. Zombie Liu Kang, I mean, he's just so cool, guys. It's like a, I mean, he has the change. He has the change. Very cool story. So I'm going to give Zombie Liu Kang a 9. I'm going to give regular human Liu Kang just a 7. Like, solid. I can't give him much higher because it's just a Liu Kang design. Now, Taven, this is him without his armor. Taven's really cool, like the black and gold. And people say he looks generic. I don't see that. I don't think he is, and I don't see that, but I get why people would think that. But I think it's dumb. Cause again, this is not like his default's not the most detailed, but I like his necklace there. The gold makes sense being Son of Argus. It is simple but effective, and then you get the more detail with his ult where he's got his armor, and it looks so cool. I love the gem in the middle. I love the shoulder pads. I love all the details on it. The primary is like an 8. I really do like it, but it is quite simple. Then the ult is like a 10. like they both fit Tatum really well. I think they're both perfect for the character. Like he doesn't need any more designs than that. But obviously the armor is much cooler, which is a nice reward in Conquest where you unlock the armor. So yeah, and now we get on to the women. Finally, only an hour and 15 minutes in. My God, and this is where we get a mixed bag. Now, as for sexualization, and you know me, you know I don't like costumes like that. Now, as far as I think it's fine. Like there's the visible song going over the pants with goofy, but I don't hate that, and I don't think it's a on design. I think the jacket's really cool. The shirt like hooking her boobs, that is kind of ridiculous. But I really like an alt, and the alt is the same thing. So I'm gonna say I respect the choker. The pants pretty basic, but it works. The jacket makes it stand out. I really like the jacket. It's a very cool look. But we're having that jacket. I'd give this one like an 8.5. I feel. I have some complaints, just the thong really, but I do like it. I think it's just like a full shirt. I'm fine with like the small like bomber jacket. But even I don't, because it doesn't really seem sexual. It's just like why I don't get that. But it's still good design. Now this is like 9.5. I'm not gonna give it 10 because she has high heels for some reason. In like a military uniform, she has like these like knee high boots with fucking high heels. I don't get what's up with that, but I like the detail on the costume. I can say it's like this is generic. I don't agree. I like the green beret, and it like pairs well with like Jax's, obviously. Just very cool. It's the best design in my opinion. But yeah, the high heels, it just annoys me. It just annoys me, the high heels, so I can't give it a perfect 10. So this is weird because they made her auto primary, and I'd get it if her player 2 could have a player 1, because she has like a typical blue here instead of purple. But the purple's weird, and I even see people saying, "Oh, that's Lee May." It's not. But again, this isn't a costume I dislike. Actually, I don't particularly like the very long hair. It's unique. And I'm fine with Katana without a mask on. That doesn't bother me. The earrings are nice, a nice touch. But the costume's pretty plain. You know, you just have like the like see-through material, and you just have like the purple. With the blue, it looks much better. I won't bother showing it to you, but it's like I'll give it a 7. The alt's any better than my Katana design. I like the blue earrings. But yeah, these are pretty standard, I'd say. This is like a 7.5. I'm not too great about EV designs, but I don't think either are bad. Now, this mini costume. The sleeves are so fucking cool. The vial is so cool where it's see-through. You can see it talk on teeth. And also like the back thing with like the translucent, like a bit of cloth on her back there. It's just really cool. Like that like whole cloak thing. The problem comes from the fact that's where her design ends. Why is she wearing basically nothing besides that belt and like a couple like straps? Why is she wearing nothing beyond? The boots are cool as well, but it just comes in like the exposed skin problem. You have you like designing a really cool looking design. Then you decide, let's stop here, guys. Let's stop designing the character because we need to show skin because all women. It doesn't work because now it looks like an incomplete costume because she has these fucking long sleeves, this long cloak, and then she just decides, oh yeah, I'm not going to wear pants. I'm just gonna wear a thong, and that's it. What? Well, it destroys the design for sure. Now this is really cool. The design is really cool. It keeps it like a 4 or 5. Let's go 4.5 again. Just solve it by going in the middle, because those details are really cool. But then the design just ends there. Now, I really like the hair. Yeah, I just like hair that covers an eye. It's just cool. I like the gold accents. I like the weird sash on the side. And I really like the vibrant pink she has. Another translucent vial. I think it's translucent. Yeah, okay. It like that's all cool. But again, there's nothing there. It reminds me of an MK9 design, which is bad. It's real bad. This is better than it, I'll say, by default. But yeah, again, it's just like there's just too much skin. Like you just have these really thin, like pieces of cloth. Again, it just feels incomplete. I like the gold rings as well. This is like a free. It's worse than the primary, I guess. I mean, I actually prefer it just because I like the hair more. But when you look at the whole thing, like, yeah, it's not as good. And I think that's a shame. Like there's very good sides of a good costume ending kind of fun with it. Her primary here, it's boring. I like the gold, but there's nothing to really note because then they're hardly wearing anything. No, I like the long sash. I really like the boots. I like the gloves. I like the whatever armwear she's got. I like the headband. I really like her hair. But I'm pointing out really small details that would be part of a greater design. And there's no greater design because there's no clothes. This is like middle of the road 5, I feel. I think her alt's worse, which apparently a hot take, but I don't know. I don't like the hair as much. I don't like the hair as much. And again, it's a generic mask, which is why same for why I prefer Katana without the mask. Because you use a generic one. It's not like Melina's vow that's really distinct and fits the character. It's just there because it's all ninja. The arm wears more like generic because it's just black. It's one of the classic one. She sells the boots, and I have like the thing attached to the leotard. It's like Chameleons actually. When I think about it, it might literally be Chameleons. I could be wrong, but it might be. And as I said, I really like Chameleon's design, but less because of actual like full costume. I think it's better than this because she's like more like covered up. Like there's more going on. Also, the theme of changing colors and just a general character look. So I gave that a 10. This is not anywhere close. It's another 5. I'm not really going to rate one higher than the other, but I think they're both pretty shit. Now this is a 10 out of 10. Asher, it's so cool. Like all the white and the gold, it fits her perfectly. I love the details. You can't really tell there, but like on a what's it under her belt? I like a bit of cloth. It's really cool. I like the gold rings, and her hat's just iconic. It's fantastic. The alt is the same thing. They just took some clothes off. Like what? It is literally the same thing with some exposed clothes. I mean, there's like some details, like where the gold is in places. I like a translucent material. I guess it's the same as the hat then. She doesn't have the hat. And I guess that's like something notable. Like you can have an alt where she's not wearing the hat. But it doesn't make it better. Absolutely not. It makes it generic. And it just sexualizes her for the sake of it. This is okay. Because it still has parts of the original design. I was going to say, this is like it's a 3 at best. And it probably drops to a 2. I feel. I look at it because it just looks like an incomplete costume. Like, what is that? Yeah, it's a 2. I still like the gold and white. That's the only thing saving it. Now, anyway, she has some cool stuff here. It's bikini armor, so it's fucking stupid. It's not going to get very high. But I like the purple sash. I like the details on what clothing pieces there are. I don't like the weird skull on her underwear. I don't like that doesn't fit a Carol. The headband is iconic though with Lee May, and I like her hair. So the headband and the sash, it bumps it up a bit. It's probably one of the best sexualized costumes because it does have good stuff going for it. But again, there's not much going on. Again, the same as the Melina shoe, although I do think it's a bit better. I'll give it a 6. Her alternate, however, this is a 10 out of 10. I like just some random cleavage there, but even with that side, it's still a 10. I love like the details on it again, like the purple as primary color. It's fantastic. Like all the silver in the armor, it looks so cool. I wish a Day Alliance promo came back because I know it has like fucking insane cleavage, and that's stupid. And the sandals are a bit goofy, but like a cuff is really cool, and it's actually in Creative Fire with the flower patterns on it. I thought that was really neat as well. But the armor's really cool. Serena, it's cool to get a playable in like a main game, and this is the only one where she has been. But it's a bad design. And I'm going to throw in them side by side with the old, which is from Tournament Edition, which is basically just based on 5 Sub-Zero, and this new costume for Armageddon. She's like black in the primary, or like tanned, which I'm fine with, but then the alt is white, and I have seen like some explanation like, well, she has a new demon body for Armageddon, which technically yes, but why would she race swap herself? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, but I mean, I don't care either way, right? It's whatever either way. It's just weird to have it inconsistent in this game. Individually, because we're ranking a costume individually, I don't think it affects any rankings, but I feel I'd point it out. I mean, they probably select the same rank because it's the same fucking thing. Brother stuff, generic, weight, like a land clone. I mean, like the belt thing she has in the primary is cool, but then you look at the back and it's just not there. You're just looking at her ass. So it's like, okay. I'd probably say the primary is a bit better. Slightly better. So I'll give it like a 0.5 more. So it's like her primary's like a 4.5, her alt's a 4. And no, we're dropping it. We're on a 3 and 3.5. And the reason for that is she should have done a complete redesign by this game because she was not a Brotherhood member. I mean, she falls back to him now, but like there should be a costume by now where she's not dressed for a costume. MKX has the same problem. She's not involved with the Brotherhood at all anymore, but she's still dressed like a Brotherhood Shadow member. It's outdated as fuck. It doesn't suit her. I don't like it. Kira, I think Kira has some decent designs. Like this, she's got the exposed legs, which I mixed with smoke. I don't like that. But I like the red. I like the low jacket. It's cool. And you'll notice especially with the alt, like her clothes. It's like she picked like a size down. I like her hair, the pigtails. It's cool. And I like the gauntlet thing she's got. And again, like the dragon teeth strapped to her legs. It's cool. I'm very generous. I'm gonna give it like a. I don't know. Because this is one where it's sexualized, but it's not like overdone where it just destroys the design. It's not like something like Jade's here where like there is no design because it's just bikini woman. Like she's not in a bikini, obviously. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I do actually quite like it. The alt I like bits of, but this one again feels more like, oh, it looks like an unfinished design. She's just wearing a jacket. Like there's nothing under, and it's like undersized. It's like held together by 3 belts. It's really goofy. He got the legs strapped to her thighs now, and through like these like rings attached to her high heel boots. I don't mind in high heels. Like Kira's one where it could make sense because they're technically just wearing street clothes, I guess. It's weird. I think her hair's really cool. The choker's really cool. The jacket is really cool if it was like if there was anything under there. So again, it has cool things, but the shorts are cool, but they're very short. They're very fucking short that you can't even tell they're shorts. And you have like a zipper that goes all the way in the middle. So do you just zip it in half? It's weird. I guess like a middle of the road 5 because the jacket at the back is really cool because it's a cool pattern. So I don't hate it. And Natara here is another one where it's like, okay, she's wearing a thong. There's just straps everywhere. And she's just wearing a bra. She's got spikes on it, so I guess it's design. I like a headband that covers the eye, which people mistake for an eye patch, which those people are stupid. But yeah, the wings are obviously cool. I like the pattern, like the kanji writing on them. I don't know why. I don't know what it says, but yeah. I do think like the sleeves again. It's like the Marlena problem, like really cool, but then it just ends. It really does just end, And it's supposed to be comes round. It's like a jacket. It's like a coat, but it's just the sleeves and then the collar. So having down, I mean, it goes around at the back, which helps it out. Like, I think it's like a 6.5. I love it's still missing so much, even if it has stuff I really like. And we've started a fucking tower, right? Okay, sorry about that. We got it up. Her ult is fucking tower. So she has like a leg trap, which we see a lot, like leg pass. But yeah, her tattoos and go on the arms, they're just pretty damaged. I don't like them. And also, she doesn't have them on the primary anyway, so it's inconsistent. She is just wearing underwear. I mean, she's got the belt there, which is kind of neat. The bra's generic. Like the armwear is just black, so there's nothing to say. I don't know why she just has all white face paint. And she's got like it looks like a scarf around her neck, which I like. But yeah, I mean the boots are kind of cool as well, I guess. But that's it. That is it. I think this is our first one design of the video. Like there's not really anything. So I've pointed out some good stuff, but it's nothing to really savor beyond a 1. Like I don't think it's I won't put it lower than a 1, but it's the first one in this video for sure. Sindao, I quite like the patterns in this one. There's a lot of patterns. I like the gold accents. Again, she's royalty. It makes sense. I like her makeup as well. It's very cool. My favorite Sindao design. I think this is like an 8. I really do like this one for sure. I like the gloves as well. Very cool. The ult, okay, some like goth look, which I mean, she is goth, but it makes her look like a villain. She has a crown as well. It kind of was for an ult if you headcanon it as like this is what she was when she was resurrected and MK3. But we know that's not what she wore because she had an MK3 design. So it's very weird, but when you think of it, like, it's kind of cool. And at the back, there's like a cool like sash pattern. And I like the armwear. Like it's cool in parts. So I'll give it a 5. I'll go middle of the road for it. First primary, 10 out of 10. I really like the patterns on the mask and the costume, like the sash. I like how they didn't just decide sexualize it because it's like, oh, ninja. Because you would expect they just get rid of the black and just have it skin, And if they did that, then it would just be a really goofy costume. Oh, and of course the spiked hair is iconic. I like her makeup. I like the armwear. Like everything is detailed. She's even got a sash on her right leg. It's a fantastic design. I mean, I was gonna say again, it feels like the actual one. They just took stuff away, but it is different now. You got like the band, like, but these are blue, but it looks like they snapped. Like, what are those armband things? It's weird. She's got cleavage, which is fucking ridiculous. You got like some like 2 belts on it. It's weird. Like the details kind of all blend together because again it's like the same shade. I like the sash though. I like the sash in the middle, like a snowflake in the middle. I think the boots are fine, but then she's wearing nothing on the legs besides that. And she's massive, which I'm fine being an alt thing. I like the blue lipstick. So 3.5 for the sash. I guess. Not a great one. Not a great alt, but the primary more than makes up for it, I feel. Again, it's one of those costumes where you can tell it's like, oh, it's the sexualized alternative that they need to have. Now, tell you some cool ones. I really like this. I like the belt clip thing on the side. I like the boots. It's similar but effective patterns with the black and yellow. I like her choker. I obviously like the eyes. I think it's another 8. I really do like it. And I think the ult gets the same rating. It's not like the MK4 one, but again, I really like the patterns. It's a leotard, but it's got really good patterns. So I do like it. I think it's another 8. I think both of these are 8s. For the same reasons. Just good patterns. Simple but effective. I am a fan. Okay, so Shiva. Now, Shiva's a weird one, because Shiva's one where I feel like she hasn't really had any good designs, honestly. There's aspects that make good designs, and I think we can see that here. And I mean, like 11 probably my favorite, but she has no good colors. Like I really like a chest plate and the sash she has. Here she has the best colors in Armageddon Primary. I like the gold and I like the red. It's really cool. But again, it's bikini armor. No, I think this isn't too much a problem for Shiva, because I feel you look at the female costume and the ones that would like dress in like not much clothes, because it doesn't make sense as a character thing for any of them. I know if I want to make up their bullshit for like Melina, which is just not true. It's not canon. It's just a made up head canon made by horny people trying to find an excuse for Snake. But Shiva, it naturally makes sense because the Shokan, yeah, they don't dress in much. Like Goro and Kentaro, they wear less than Shiva does usually. So yeah, it doesn't like inherently. I don't mind Shiva not wearing much. I don't think it's much of a problem, right? And I think there's enough details here that I think it's a fine design. Again, there's not any I'm too keen on, but I think I get the appeal of it. Has enough going on where I get the appeal, and I think Shiva's like character model here. She looks really fucking buff, you know? Like it's probably her best character model, and I love the mohawk that she has now. Even in MK11, she has a mohawk. This one's all crazy. I like the weird crown thing she has, I guess. She also has nice earrings. But yeah, I just don't like bikini armor because I just think it's dumb. I only talk about impractical armor, but it's just such an annoying one where it's just bikini armor. Like quantity on the shoulder, but I don't know. I don't know where it's on that line of when is impractical armor too stupid. Because again, it kind of works for Shiva. Because again, Shokan, but like it's armor, so she's supposed to be defending herself. And like have like the side boobs. It's just weird. It was like a full like chest plate just over like the top half of it. I'd be fine with that. And I like the back thing, like the back sash. It that's cool. I'd probably give this. I've been critical, but I do think I can be generous on this one. I do think it's like a 7 for like the colors and stuff. Maybe 6.5. I like the garnish. She has the garnish. It's quite iconic. As more going on, like say MK9 design, because and we'll get into even an old costume. I have a problem with that because like she can not wear much, but there's not much detail. Here there's detail, but then my problem comes from the fact that this is trying to be a more practical design for her, and it fails at being that. But it's still a cool bit. So 7, I could be generous and go with 7. Now the alt's just the MK3 costume. You got the garnet, silver garnets, and like the like wear and the belt, and then there is just this V-string, and that's it. It's nothing. It's really nothing. It's more than the MK9 default, where it's literally just that one like piece of cloth. But I still don't like it. It works better for this character model because Shiva looks fucking shredded. You know, like it's actually a well-made character model for her. But there's nothing exciting with this costume because there's nothing going on. The excitement comes from the character model, and again, I still feel that way about the primary in a lot of ways. But I think the primary is enough that I can justify giving it like a solid rating. This though is like 4. I'll give it a 4. It's probably above most, like, again by default of being Shiva, but I'm not crazy about it. And now it's like the monster characters, I guess. Some Baraka, I think it's one where they're definitely different designs, but I think I've got the same comments I can make both of them. I like how there's blades out on the menu as well. It's kind of cool. It's like the one because those are weapons. So. You think he wouldn't, but I think these are both 10s. They both just have really good details, good colours, good variety of stuff here. The Tarkhan model's like kind of goofy in this game. Hasn't aged too well, but I think it's good. It's aged better than MK9 one, where he can't even close his mouth because of where they put the teeth. So his model can't even close his mouth properly. So I think these are both like 10s. I think you can have whatever is your favorite rock design. I think it's one of these two. I think rock just always has cool designs, you know. Like there's no like just say about them, but like there's nothing wrong with them, and there's nothing I could really suggest for improvements. Tarkans are just really cool, and it's just some of the best looks for Baraka. Now Madaro, of course, is going to mix in a horse. Not a horse. They go his horse body to turn into a minotaur rather than just a centaur, so he loses back legs and the horse body. He still has the tail though, he still has the horns. He looks cool. Minotaurs look cool, right? And of course, that amount of centaurs out of their hands. I just think minotaurs are cooler. And actually, he probably fits being a minotaur more because centaurs typically the top half is just a human. Of course, he has like the horns. So again, he looks more like a minotaur. He fits the bill of a minotaur more, in my opinion. So I really don't. I really think just turning the centaurs into minotaurs. And MK has so many retcons, and this would be one there's an actual justification for. So it is quite annoying how we just haven't gone with the minotaurs in future games. Because these are really cool, and these are better designs than what an MK3 for sure. I like the sash, I like the belt. This one isn't too crazy. Again, it's like Shiva, where it's like you get some solid points, but it's more so just your really cool character model. So I'll give this one a 7 as well, like Shiva's primary. But the ult is where we get really cool. Like, look at the armor. I really understand. I really like the belt. The weird thing with the sash, though, is that you can tell it's not clipped to the belt properly. And I guess you could say the silver isn't as good because the silver matches the tail, whereas here it doesn't, because it's like this gold or... I don't know, gold. Looks more like a tin. But I like the red. I really like the war paint on him. This one's like a 9 for me. It's not perfect, but I really do enjoy this one. Very underrated costume. Havoc's a 10. We all know this. Havoc's like one of the coolest characters in the franchise. His helmet's awesome, of course. His character model where he's missing like the flesh on the lower part of his face. Really cool. I like his chest thing. I mean, it's kind of weird how like one half just exposed. But it's chaos. It's chaos realm. There shouldn't be cohesion there. I really like his like, back cloak thing. His gloves are awesome. And of course, I like the sash. Now it's kind of torn at the bottom. Just really cool stuff. It's absolutely a 10 out of 10. Here's the ult. Now he like covers the eyes. This is going to be Noob's design. Actually. And I think the primary fits in well, but this is a very good ult. I'd probably give this like it's less standout. I feel it's more of a generic but still badass costume. So I think it's like an 8 or 9. I'll go 8.5. We'll go 8.5. I think the hood covering is a bit goofy, but I'm fine with it. I just think it's more generic personally. So yeah, Dramen's a 10. Dramen's a 10. I know. It's like he technically doesn't really have a design here. It's more, again, it's like the Shiva Matara thing. I'm just ranking the character model. But his character model is so sick. The decayed flesh, like the flies surrounding him. The knife that's just stuck in his back. He's so cool. You can see like bits of his flesh just like dripping, like dangling off him. He is awesome. It is insane how he is not returned, how he is treated as bad. I've done an entire video on why Drummond is the perfect character because he has the iconic mask, he has the iconic club, he has an iconic part of his costume and an iconic weapon, and then he has like a really deep backstory. It is insane how underappreciated this guy is. I mean, I say that, but like Drummond's not really that hated. It's just Ed Boon hates him because Ed Boon's an out-of-touch dickhead. And the alt's also a 10 out of 10. More design here. You got more shoulder pads. You got like some weird like head thing dangling off him. I don't know the significance of it, but it's really cool. It's like his ceremonial Oni wraps. Like, so these are cool. I'd say the alt's better, but both are 10s, 100%. So cool. And Moloch, again, it's gonna be a 10. The ball is awesome, although he's not holding it. That's an Armageddon thing. He doesn't. I assume it was going to be a weapon style, but yeah, I didn't get around to it. But like, yeah, the three eyes, the three glowing eyes, his skin being like a mesh of like green and blue. It's really cool. He's just so dope. Now we got Blaze, and by the way, these guys don't have alts. Blaze is 10 out of 10 again. Again, some people drawing claims as generic. What do you want? Like, please tell me. Like, you've got the fireman, right? And you're going to give it a power up. Then you just make this big fucking dude with these like spikes, these like magma rocks on him. And like it makes out like a face with like, it makes out like a mask, you know. Like if you look at where the rocks are, it makes out like a costume he's wearing. And I think that attention to detail is so perfect. It is a massive glow up in design from just a fireman. This is a 10 out of 10. 100%. He has such a presence. Speaking of someone with such a presence, this guy takes up half the select screen. 10 out of 10 is the fucking Dragon King Onaga. Fantastic design. The only possible criticism I could have is like his shoulder armor thing. Like, not his shoulder, his thigh armor. It just clipped through him. Like bro's thighs are too thick. And it just noticeably clips through his leg. You can even see it now. I don't think there's any state the character model's in where there's no clipping there. But I'm not going to dock points for that. The helmet's awesome. The gem in the middle's awesome. The sash he had is awesome. The shoulder pads. Everything about him is so cool. Kintaro! Okay. We're back to having alt costumes. And Kintaro's a weird one because this is a really cool redesign, I feel. You still have like the chest straps, which I'm not keen on because it's just generic. But you have like the cool like with the wall here on the shoulder pads and then like this teeth. It's very cool. I like having more like red on him. I like his spiky gauntlets. I like all the spikes. I like the sash. He has. My only complaint is he has a ponytail. He's made of fur. Why does he have natural human hair? And again, it does like doing that just makes him like tries to make him more generic like other Shokons. It's a really small thing, but it just shouldn't be there, so it bugs me. It doesn't make sense because he's furry, so I really don't like him with a ponytail. It's just really awkward. He just has black natural like human hair when he's look at him. He's a furry fucking tiger. It doesn't work. He doesn't have it though because it's just MK2 costume. I feel like they gave more spikes in Shaw, which is kind of ridiculous. But I do like his belt and the sash. And it's cool. And the primary I prefer the costume of. I just don't like the hair. And it's similar enough that I think they'll get the same rating here. I'm going to give them both 9s. Actually, again, this is a lot of it's down to just a really cool character model, I will admit. But I think the costume is solid enough, so I will stick to having a 9, actually. Goro, this is one where the character model fucking sucks. Bro has 2 chests. I mean, this is the first Shokon he designed, right? Because he came on Deception. Deals were made for Armageddon. So, dude, it's 4-nip Goro, right? And you can argue that makes him better or worse than Shokon. It's still his second best character model, though, behind like the stop motion model they had in the classic games, because you have MK4 Goro, which is cursed as well, and then MK9 Goro, which looks like a cat. Oh, there's also MKX Goro. MKX Goro is cool. Never mind. He's in the top 3 best Goro looks though. And he has the belt. I mean, Guitar is the same thing. I realize this is like. I mean, that's kind of a shame. Guitar just has similar clothing, but of course, the character models make him very distinct, of course. It's not too big an issue with the whole, Guitar is a Goro clone. Like, I feel we got over that fact ages ago. I like the gold. Races, it's odd. Again, most of it's just down to old Shokan guy. I mean, I gave Kentaros a 9, so I'll probably give him a 9. But his ult, yeah, I'll give the primary a 9. His ult, though, is a 10. I love the armor, like the shoulder pad, and like it's just cool to see a more heavily clothed Shokan. Oh, his legs are still exposed and whatnot, but I love the helmet. I love just all the armor, and I love the sash he has. It's definitely my favorite Shokan design in terms of clothing. I really am a fan. A very underrated look for Goro. I wish we got to see Shokan more armor more often. Now Shao Kahn, this is his best design. It's a 10 out of 10. The cape, it's perfect. I like how there's more detail added to him for like such a simple design. It hasn't really changed. And I love the helmet as well. I love the spikes. It's just really perfect. I love his image with the glowing red eyes. He's such a cool motherfucker. The ult's weird. Again, this is the last one here. That's an ult that feels like it works specifically as an ult. You know, you got the different helmet that works for an ult. He's still got a cape, and he's still got like these cool patterns on him. You know, this is a good design. I just don't know. It's just too out there. But when you put in the context of just being an ult, I think it's like an 8 out of 10. It's very cool, for sure. Now, lastly here, we have our boy Meat. And Meat, it's a 10. It's what you need him to be, the Meat Man. I love the blood effects. I love how his eyes are just out. Now, I realize his body is just like the same texture as Charmin's, but does he really need anything else? Not really. It's just perfect. It is perfect for Meat. So for that is another 10, and this has taken nearly 2 hours. I'm so sorry. I don't think it'll take this long. Although there are there's over 100 costumes to go through, so I guess I should have saw this coming. So thanks for watching this video. I'm sorry if I dissed your face, although I didn't really give many low scores actually. Like the later part, there were some low ones, but yeah, I don't know. I think if I were to pull my favourites, and these are probably favourites in the franchise, you got Jarrett's, of course, I think it's fantastic. Shang Tsung's primary is incredible. Baraka's always cool. Dramin, of course. Onaga, just Shijinko, Zaven and Dagon. Man, sorry, Rax, there's Movado, there's so many cool motherfuckers. It's so awesome. Most of these designs. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.